The data shows a wide variety of sentences. Weighing all the relevant factors, the court determines that the sentence is 50 months of incarceration.
50.
4 years.
4 years.
5-0.
4 years, 2 months.
2 months.
Yep.
Wow.
50 months.
Breaking now, Diddy's own sons are flipping on him to the FBI, trading secrets to dodge prison time themselves. And guess what? Diddy just found out, and so did his arch nemesis 50 Cent. This family's empire is crumbling live. We've learned that behind the scenes, a desperate deal has been struck, one that could shatter what's left of the Combs dynasty. Sources reveal that Diddy's sons, facing their own serious legal exposure, have quietly cooperated with federal investigators, offering insider details in exchange for leniency. But here's the twist. Diddy has caught wind of the betrayal, and the fallout is already spiraling out of control.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
This isn't just about survival. It's about survival at any cost. The sons, allegedly entangled in the same dark activities that landed their father behind bars, now find themselves in a race against time. If they don't talk, they risk decades in prison. If they do, they're signing their father's fate, and possibly their own legacy, over to prosecutors. We can't ignore the timing. This comes just as Diddy's 50-month sentence for transportation-related offenses begins, and as 50 Cent's explosive Netflix documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, drops bombshell after bombshell about the mogul's past. The documentary, which Diddy's team calls a shameful hit piece, includes never-before-seen footage of him strategizing with lawyers days before his arrest, whispering about needing someone who's dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business to spin his narrative. Now, with his sons reportedly spilling secrets, the question isn't just what they're saying, it's who else they're dragging down with them.
So maybe the judge is going to give him more than time served.
But we should say that the maximum he could get is 20 years.
And that's what I want to get into for a minute. Because this is some racist you-know-what, this Mann Act.
But let's rewind to understand how we got here. Diddy's legal troubles exploded in September 2024 when federal agents raided his LA and Miami properties, seizing devices, substances, and what sources describe as evidence tied to his infamous private gatherings. By July 2025, a jury convicted him on 2 counts of transportation for prohibited activities, though he dodged the racketeering charge that could have put him away for life. His sentencing, just over 4 years, was a blow, but not the knockout prosecutors wanted. Meanwhile, his sons, particularly Justin and Christian, have been named in lawsuits alleging their involvement in the same shadowy world. One suit claims Justin lured a woman to LA under false pretenses in 2017, where she alleges she was held against her will and subjected to a horrifying ordeal involving Diddy and 2 masked men. Another accuses Christian of assaulting a yacht steward in late 2022, with audio clips purportedly capturing his aggressive advances. Both sons deny the allegations, but the pattern is undeniable. Where Diddy goes, legal jeopardy follows. And now, his own blood is reportedly cutting deals to save themselves.
They needed to show that there was an agreement, that the organization knew what it was doing, that it was an enterprise, not in law, but in fact, that people understood the object of the enterprise, which was to promote Sean Combs and his brands and sort of fulfill any deviant desires he may have had, and then to cover up any crimes committed over the course of fulfilling those desires.
The FBI's interest in the sons isn't just about their father's crimes. Insiders claim investigators are digging into whether Justin and Christian acted as facilitators in Diddy's operations, using their access and influence to recruit or coordinate. If true, their cooperation could unlock a trove of evidence, texts, recordings, witness accounts, that prosecutors have struggled to pin down. But here's the catch. Diddy's legal team has already cried foul over the Netflix documentary's use of stolen footage, arguing it was obtained illegally. If his sons are handing over similar material, private conversations, internal documents, or even recordings from those notorious gatherings, the legal battle over admissibility could become a war of its own. And with 50 Cent, a man who spent decades feuding with Diddy, now producing a documentary that paints the mogul as a predator, the stakes aren't just legal, they're personal.
Well said. I suppose it could be coincidence. I don't think it's coincidence. And especially given the nature of the case.
Yes.
Because when you look at who is examining these various witnesses, especially female alleged victims, of which there will be 4.
We can't overlook the timing of 50 Cent's involvement. The rapper-turned-mogul has never hidden his disdain for Diddy, dating back to their 2006 beef, when 50 accused him of ties to the notorious B.I.G.'s assassination, a claim Diddy has vehemently denied. But in 2024, as Diddy's homes were raided and his empire began to crumble, 50 Cent didn't just watch from the sidelines. He greenlit The Reckoning, a project he insists isn't about vengeance but about giving a voice to the voiceless. Yet, when Diddy's team accused Netflix of handing his life story to a longtime adversary with a personal vendetta, the subtext was clear. This isn't just a documentary, it's a takedown. And now, with Diddy's sons allegedly feeding the FBI, 50 Cent's narrative that Diddy's world was built on exploitation and silence gains a chilling new layer of credibility. But the real bombshell? The sons' cooperation might not just be about their father. Sources familiar with the case suggest prosecutors are probing whether Diddy's inner circle, managers, assistants, even family members, enabled or covered up his activities. If Justin or Christian implicate others, we could be looking at a domino effect of indictments. And let's not forget the financial angle. Diddy's $400 million empire is already under siege, with his mother, Janice, and his son, Christian, locked in a power struggle over control. If the sons' deals lead to asset forfeitures or frozen accounts, the family's infighting could turn into an all-out war.
Hey, Will, yeah, the judge moments ago sentencing Sean Diddy Combs to 4 years behind bars, telling the court he took into consideration that Diddy was self-made, someone who lifted up others, supported his family. He noted that Diddy did a lot of this while even battling addiction, but he said he had to consider all of the rapper's history.
Then there's the wild card, the footage. Diddy's team has furiously denied that the clips in The Reckoning, including his panicked calls to lawyers, were obtained legally. But if his sons are now providing similar material to the FBI, the question isn't just about legality, it's about what else exists. For decades, Diddy was obsessed with documenting his life, filming everything from boardroom deals to private moments. If his sons have access to that archive, and if they're trading it for freedom, we might soon see evidence that even Diddy thought was buried forever. And with 50 Cent's documentary already sparking lawsuits and threats of legal action, the next leak could be the one that finally sinks the ship.
If anyone, I'm happy to go. So we think that's just absolutely inconsistent with the jury's verdict. I mean, the jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no trafficking, there was no racketeering, everything was consensual, everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's.
But here's where things get even messier. Diddy's legal team has insisted that the allegations against him are a media frenzy, a witch hunt fueled by enemies and opportunists. Yet, the sons' cooperation suggests they believe the evidence is real, and damning enough to warrant a deal. One former associate told us, if they're flipping, it's because they know the FBI has enough to destroy them too. And with Diddy's appeal pending, every new revelation could influence his chances. The jury in his trial was split, acquitting him of racketeering but convicting him on lesser charges. If his son's testimony paints a picture of a criminal enterprise that extends beyond Diddy himself, those acquittals might not hold up under scrutiny. We also can't ignore the psychological toll this is taking on the family. Diddy's ex, Misa Hilton, was recently approached about her own show, a move some see as Netflix capitalizing on the chaos. Meanwhile, Diddy's current incarceration at Fort Dix, a low-security facility, offers little comfort as his world unravels outside. His letter to the judge before sentencing was a rare moment of vulnerability. I lost my way. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness.
And Freed were in the unit that was one floor above mine. So in terms of like the setting, it's a fairly decent chance that the room I'm describing is similar to where Diddy is. Yeah.
But if his sons are now turning on him, that downfall might just be complete. And with 50 Cent's documentary already sparking conversations about a potential 5th episode, this time in court, the legal drama is far from over. But if the sons are spilling everything to save themselves, what explosive truths about Diddy's world are they handing over? And who else might get dragged down next? Because one thing's clear, in this family, loyalty has a price. And right now, that price is freedom. The question is, how many more secrets will it take to buy it? And when the dust settles, will there be anything left of the Combs name? Or will it be just another cautionary tale, dismantled by the very people who once benefited from its power? The FBI isn't talking. The sons aren't talking. At least, not publicly. But the walls are closing in, and in Diddy's world, silence has always been the most expensive currency of all. Now, it might just be the one thing he can't afford.
Did Phil explain why he's speaking out now?
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator, he wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
The deeper we dig into this family betrayal, the clearer it becomes that Diddy's sons aren't just cooperating with the FBI. They're reportedly handing over evidence that could implicate themselves in the very same crimes their father's been accused of. Insiders believe Justin and Christian Combs weren't just bystanders in Diddy's world, they were active participants, using their last name as both a shield and a weapon. One former associate who worked closely with the family during Bad Boy's heyday told us, those boys grew up in the business, they knew exactly what was going on, and they played their roles. If that's true, their cooperation isn't just about saving themselves. It's about survival in a system they helped build, and if the FBI is offering them a lifeline, it's because what they know could bring the whole operation crashing down.
He did a whole lot to a whole lot of people. And now he's paying for it. So all these cats, I guess y'all get y'all visitation rights. Some of y'all can get y'all conjugal visits right with them. I don't give.
But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Sources claim Diddy didn't just find out about his son's deal. He's furious, and not just because of the betrayal. The real nightmare for him? The possibility that Justin and Christian have been recording conversations, saving messages, or even holding on to damning footage from those infamous private gatherings. Remember, Diddy's legal team has already screamed foul over Netflix's use of stolen footage in The Reckoning, calling it a violation of his rights. But if his own sons are the ones handing over similar material to the FBI, that legal argument crumbles. And with 50 Cent's documentary already painting a picture of a man obsessed with controlling his narrative, the idea that his inner circle is now flipping the script must feel like the ultimate humiliation.
So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee.
What makes this even more explosive is the timing. Diddy's 50-month sentence is just at the beginning of his legal troubles. He's still facing a tidal wave of civil lawsuits, with accusers lining up to testify about everything from coercion to violent encounters. His son's cooperation could provide the missing links prosecutors need to turn those civil cases into criminal ones. And let's not forget the financial empire at stake. With Diddy's mother Janice and his son Christian already locked in a bitter fight over control of the family's $400 million, the FBI's involvement adds another layer of chaos. If assets get frozen or seized as part of the investigation, that power struggle could turn into an all-out war, one that plays out in courtrooms and boardrooms alike. Meanwhile, 50 Cent isn't just watching from the sidelines. Sources claim he's fully in the loop about the son's deal, and if there's one thing we know about Fifth, it's that he doesn't let an opportunity like this slip by. Remember, his documentary wasn't just a tell-all, it was a strategic strike, timed to coincide with Diddy's legal downfall. Now, with the sons reportedly spilling secrets, 50 Cent has even more ammunition. Insiders say he's been quietly feeding information to media outlets, ensuring that every new revelation keeps Diddy's name trending, for all the wrong reasons. And if the FBI's case strengthens, don't be surprised if 50 Cent finds a way to weave that into his narrative too. After all, this isn't just about justice for him, it's about legacy, and making sure Diddy's is reduced to rubble.
If the
In
judge,
October. Right.
In October, October 3rd. If the judge denies bail, then Trump is going to make a decision possibly immediately thereafter.
Most likely, the judge is going to, based on previous decisions, it feels like the judge is going to deny.
But the biggest question lingering over all of this is simple. What happens if the deal falls apart? Right now, Justin and Christian are banking on their cooperation buying them freedom. But if the FBI decides their information isn't valuable enough, or if Diddy's legal team finds a way to discredit it, the sons could end up facing the same fate as their father. And with the charges they're reportedly connected to, we're not talking about a slap on the wrist. We're talking about decades behind bars. One legal expert we spoke to put it bluntly. If the sons are tied to the same activities as Diddy, and the FBI can prove it, they're not just looking at minor charges, they're looking at life-altering sentences. That's a gamble no amount of family loyalty can justify. And then there's the wild card, public perception. Diddy has always been a master of controlling his image, from his early days as Puff Daddy to his reign as a mogul. But this is the one narrative he can't spin. If his sons are testifying against him, it doesn't just make him look guilty, it makes him look abandoned. The man who built an empire on loyalty is now facing the ultimate betrayal from the people who should have had his back. And in the court of public opinion, that might be the final nail in the coffin. But what if this betrayal isn't just about survival? What if it's about something far more personal? Critics point out this could stem from years of living in Diddy's shadow, where loyalty was demanded but respect was conditional. Justin and Christian grew up in a world where their father's name opened every door, but also cast a suffocating shadow over their own ambitions. Insiders describe a dynamic where Diddy's expectations were impossible to meet, his approval fleeting, and his temper legendary. For sons raised in that environment, cooperation with the FBI might not just be a legal strategy. It could be the first time they've ever had real leverage over the man who controlled their lives. And if that's the case, this isn't just a deal, it's a reckoning. The psychological toll of that upbringing can't be underestimated. Former associates paint a picture of a family where success was measured in power, not happiness, and where silence was the price of admission. One industry veteran who worked with the Combs family in the early 2000s told us that Justin and Christian were often treated more like junior executives than sons, expected to perform, to network, to uphold the bad boy brand at all costs. But behind closed doors, the pressure reportedly took a darker turn. There are whispers of explosive arguments, of favors demanded and never repaid, of a father who saw his children as extensions of his empire rather than individuals. If that's true, their cooperation might be less about fear of prison and more about finally breaking free from a legacy that never truly belonged to them. Then there's the money. Sources whisper that the deal isn't just about avoiding prison, it's about protecting their inheritances from the fallout of Diddy's downfall. With lawsuits piling up and assets at risk of seizure, the sons may be calculating that their best shot at preserving their financial futures is to distance themselves from their father's legal quagmire. But here's the twist. If their cooperation leads to more indictments or frozen accounts, those same assets could become evidence, or worse, forfeited. It's a high-stakes gamble, one that suggests their motives run deeper than self-preservation. They're not just saving themselves, they're potentially rewriting the family's future, even if it means burning bridges that can never be rebuilt. And if the roots of this betrayal are as personal as they seem, we have to ask, what other suppressed family secrets might surface next? The Combs name has always been synonymous with power, but power like that doesn't come without consequences. If Justin and Christian are willing to turn on their father, what else are they willing to reveal? The FBI might be focused on criminal charges, but the real story could be the unraveling of a dynasty built on silence, and the sons who finally decided to break it. If motives run this deep, this might not be the end of the saga. It could just be the beginning.
He got let off easy. And don't get me wrong, bro. I don't want to see a black man in jail. I don't want to see a black man in jail. But I don't care nothing about Diddy going to jail.
But let's not forget the ripple effect. If the Sun's cooperation leads to more indictments, we could see a domino effect that takes down others in Diddy's circle. Managers, assistants, even former artists. Anyone who turned a blind eye or played a role in the alleged activities could find themselves in the crosshairs. And with Diddy's legal team already screaming about a media frenzy, you can bet they're preparing for the worst. The question is, how many more people are willing to go down with the ship? As the FBI tightens the net and family bonds shatter, this secret pact might just be the spark that ignites a bigger fire. The Sons think they're buying their freedom, but what if they're just delaying the inevitable? And Diddy? He's always been a survivor, but this time, the odds are stacked against him. With his empire crumbling, his family turning on him, and 50 Cent waiting in the wings to twist the knife, the real question isn't just whether Diddy will survive this. It's whether there'll be anything left of his legacy when the dust settles. So tell us, do you think Diddy's sons made the right call, or are they about to learn the hard way that some deals come with a price too steep to pay? And if this family can turn on each other this fast, what does that say about the world they built together? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you're as stunned by this twist as we are. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, when empires fall, the real drama is always in the wreckage.